Hello everyone, Denise here. Today we are going to make the spirally scarf by me. So our supplies today depend on what kind of scarf you want. You can make this out of any yarn size with any hook size. Today I'm using a worsted weight 4 yarn. This is some yarn that I dyed in a video on my channel. I will put a link to that in the description. When I wrote this pattern, I wrote it for any yarn, any hook size. So if you have, let's say, a bulky weight yarn or a super bulky weight yarn, you just match your hook to the size of your yarn and you go ahead and you crochet. So we start out with a really long chain, and the way that I designed this is that you make it as long as you want to make it. I used myself as the measurement, so I used the chain length I made as long as I wanted, say, a typical scarf to hang on me. So I just kept chaining and chaining and chaining until when I put it around my neck, it hung where I wanted it to hang on me. Now, I designed this to where it's more to be hung on the top half of you instead of like a super scarf that goes really long on you. But you can do this any way you want. The way I'm going to do this one, it's going to hang just until around my waistline. So I will do my chains and I will let you know how many chains that I did do. The other materials we will need is we need an H hook or a 5.0 mm, and that is if you're using the worsted weight yarn. You choose whatever hook matches your yarn. And then we'll need some scissors and something to weave in the ends. So I'm going to do my chain and I will be right back just to let you know how many I chained and the length of it. Okay, so I chained 200 for my foundation chain, and that is 55 inches long. I have it all squished up here, but that should comfortably hit around my waist on each end for the scarf. Okay, so starting at the end of our foundation chain, we are going to start our spirals. And this is very simple, very easy, and you will do this all the way up until you get where the scarf is going to rest on the back of your neck. So this is the same exact thing that you do in each stitch all the way up until you get to the spot where you want it to lay on the back of your neck. So in the third chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, we're going to place 4 double crochets into that stitch. Okay, so we have 4 double crochets in that stitch, and in the next stitch we're going to do 4 more double crochets, and we're going to do this all the way up our scarf. And as you continue, you will notice that this starts to curl as you're going up. And that is why it's called the spiral scarf. And it's very mindless and very easy to do, especially if you're watching TV. It's not something you really have to worry about. If you forget one of the double crochets in there, it's perfectly fine. It's not a big deal. It will not be noticed. So you just put 4 double crochets in each stitch all the way up until your scarf is going to lay on the back of your neck. And then I will meet up with you when we get to that spot and proceed from there. So just keep going, and as you can see, it's starting to spiral. Now this scarf is not meant to be necessarily a really warm scarf, but in this type of weather that we're having now where I live, it's really warm one day and it's really chilly the next day, and you can't really wear a scarf and you can't really not wear a scarf. So this is just something that kind of adds a little warmth to the area around your neck so that you're not so chilly on those chilly days and you're not too warm on the warm days. And it's actually pretty, and it's very decorative as well. So you keep going, doing your spiral, 4 double crochets into each stitch until you get to the part around your chain that's going to lay at the back of your neck. So I'm just going to divide mine in half, and then once I get to you know, an area around here where it's going to lay on the back of my neck right here, then I will continue and I'll show you what we do. Okay? So I'll catch up with you in just a minute. Okay, so I am to the section that will lay on the back of my neck. And so for about 8 inches here or so, I'm just going to do a single crochet into every stitch for that 8 inches or however long you want it to not be ruffly. So the reason why I decided that I wanted to do flat on the back of my neck is because I thought maybe the bulk of the ruffle or the spiral might be annoying on your neck. When you're wearing it close to your skin, it might end up making you itchy. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm too sensitive. But for comfort wise, that's the reason I do this section of around 8 inches or so on the back of my neck so that it is not this bulk. And I wanted to show you as well. So this is what it looks like when it's spiraling. And this is what mine looks like when I'm crocheting it. And it's just ruffly and there's nothing wrong with this at all. But if you want it to spiral, all you have to do is twirl it in the same direction. Just keep twirling it over and over, and then you'll end up with that spiral. And I didn't know if you knew or not, but ruffles are on trend for 2019. So as well as being a little bit warm around your neck, this is also trendy and in, so to speak. So you could also add these ruffles to any edge or any project that you wanted a little bit of ruffle to. You just load each of these stitches up with as many double crochets or half double crochets or however treble crochets that you wanted to do, and then you'll end up with this ruffle effect. I think it's really cute. I especially think it's really cute for say a younger person's gift, because it's fun and it's festive. And the back of the neck area, if you wanted to make your scarf really long and then wanted to take this flat part and wrap it around your neck a few times so that it kind of looks like a choker around your neck, and then have it proceed to go down the other side of your neck, you could do that too. You just need to make your foundation chain a little bit longer. So I'm going to do 8 inches of single crochet around the back here, and then once we do that 8 inches, we are going to continue in our ruffle. And as soon as you hit the 8-inch mark, or however long you want, on the back of your neck, then you just need to, on the next stitch, go ahead and put 4 double crochet in that stitch and continue all the way down to the end of your scarf, and I'll meet up with you at the end. See you in a bit. Okay, I just wanted to jump in here real quick. I'm at the end of my 8 inches, so I'm going to continue on with the ruffle or the spiral all the way down the other side of the scarf. And all we do is we go into the next stitch and we do 4 double crochet in that stitch, and then in each stitch all the way down, and I will meet up with you at the end of our scarves. See you in a second. All right, so I am at the end of my scarf now, and if you wanted to make your scarf larger, if you wanted it thicker than this and you wanted more ruffles, you can go ahead and do more rows of this if you'd like. All you need to do is when you're done with your scarf at the end, go ahead and chain 2 or 3, whatever you chain to do your double crochets at the end of a row, and go ahead and start on the next one. I don't have enough yarn to do this. This is all I have left of my one skein that I dyed of the Dyer Supplier yarn. Otherwise, I would totally do this. All you have to do is just chain 2 or 3 and then go ahead and put in the stitches just like you were doing in the first row. This would make your scarf wider, and it would also make your scarf more ruffly. So this is totally optional, totally up to you. This wasn't something that I wrote into my pattern. This is just something that I thought of as I was working. My mind is always designing and changing things, and I just thought it would be kind of cool if you had a wider scarf if you're using this worsted weight 4 or say a DK. your scarf is going to be pretty thin. So I thought you could go ahead and do a second or a third row, and it would get wider and more ruffly. And so it's totally up to you. I can't do it. I don't have enough yarn, or I think I would, because this is pretty thin with a worsted weight 4, although with a warmer weather coming up, it could be more complimentary and comfortable to wear, being a thinner ruffle. So I'm going to show you how to do, I'm going to pull this out, how to, if you want to, this is totally optional also, and when I wrote the pattern, I came up with this, add a second color. So if you want to sort of accentuate a color in your yarn, because my yarn is so colorful, I could take this blue yarn and I could add a second color all the way to the edge of this, and it gives it a pop of color, and it's pretty cool looking. I will have to find my photos and insert them so that you can see what I did on a couple of gifted scarves that I made. So to add the second color, don't finish your last double crochet. Don't pull through and finish. Leave your 2 loops on your hook and add your second color of yarn just by putting it on your hook and pulling it through. Okay, so then you will need to chain 1 and then turn your work, because you're going to work up the scarf now. Got a yarn mess going on here. Okay, and so you would just do 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way up your scarf, and it gives it a nice pop of color, I think. Especially if you know someone who has, say, team colors, and let's say they're red and white, and you make this scarf white, and then the pop of color could be red. Or say you like the Denver Broncos, you could do a dark blue scarf with a pop of orange. You know, you could do any team colors you wanted and choose the pop of color that you want on the scarf as the outer edge here. See how that kind of just, boom, it brightens it up, changes the look totally. I'm not going to do that because I want to leave this scarf as is so that it matches my fingerless gloves that I made, that I will be wearing from now on, probably because the weather is getting warmer. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to cut my yarn and pull my yarn through, and then I'm going to weave in my ends, which aren't very many. I have the starting and the ending. I'm going to weave them in here, and then I will take a picture of mine since it's too hard to see on my desk here. I'm going to take a picture of it on my mannequin, and then I will find those photos of the other ones that I have made, and I will insert them as well, and I will show you what I mean by that pop of color, and you can decide what you want to do. So I'm going to weave in my ends, and then I will show you some pictures. So this is a bulky weight yarn. It is teal with a pop of white. This is another chunky weight yarn. It is cream with a pop of burgundy. This is Red Heart Super Saver Stripes in the color Primary, and I didn't do any pop of color on it since it's already so colorful. So this is the one that I just made with you guys. I wanted to show you how you can wrap it around your neck and give it a choker look effect. And so yeah, I think this is really cute. I didn't make mine long enough to really do this, but yes, you can definitely do this. Just go ahead and add more chains and add more of the single crochet section for around your neck. And this is how I would wear it with my jacket. I would just go ahead and tuck it under my collar and then let it be a decorative accessory to what I'm wearing. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, guys, and I want to thank you so much for watching. You can like and subscribe if you wish, and until next time, bye.